Hello, my name is Richard. Take it to do the Ueki. The first thing you notice about this show, this pretty much is not takes itself so serious. It's more like a Saturday cartoon, kind of well written, kind of like DBZ, but instead of the power-ups, you actually have strategy. And one of the things that makes it so strong is the strategy part, that you don't have to beat them up or power up all the time. This one will think about how I take this guy down with the power I have. And each power has its own little contracts, you could say. And each one has to have a certain something to activate their power, and also know how to use their power as a full advantage or be creator of their own power. That's when this one of the reasons this is so impressive. Each fight is completely different, completely original, and completely creative about the fight. How the power works is what kind of thing you must do. For example, the main character Ueki, he needs trash to make power of trees, and how creative the trees he can make, or depending on how situation he is, the tree bends, craze, pop, or anything else you can think of, power the tree does. Another character could actually be tossed to acid metal. The only way to activate that power, you have to hold his breath. Another character needs dirt to make size, another character needs shadows to make clay, and so forth. It always needs kind of something to activate their powers, and that's what's so unique about it. Of course, the power you use depends how powerful your power really is. For example, the main villain, actually his power, he had to use a year of his life. So every time he fights, he spends 1 year. So pretty much, if he fights too much, he dies automatically because he spent all his years. So it's quite dangerous how you use your powers. So now, there's one thing I forgot to mention about the kids, that pretty much every time you lose a fight, you lose a talent. And also, if you win a fight, you gain a talent. But the ironic thing is, if you lose all your talents, you basically die. Yeah, it's kind of like strange and kind of messed up in a way. Now, the story of this anime is basically this king whose time is running out. He pretty much has stepped down and let someone take charge. But the only way to take charge, you need a certain rule to figure out who takes charge. So he decided to have this tournament to whoever wins, who becomes the new king. The rules is pretty much you have to get a middle schooler to take this tournament. Whoever wins, the sponsor becomes king. But this is the reason why he did it. Well, because he says how life is kind of dull because you ever had a certain talent, you mold about that talent. So he decided to have this tournament to change it up a little bit to see what happens. What type of talent will change the world. Now, the reason why the kids who want to join this tournament is because they have a talent blank. A talent blank, you could choose whatever talent you want, and that talent comes true. That becomes your talent. So this is pretty tempting to whoever wants this talent to be the good reason or bad reason. So this is pretty much the reason Ueki wanted to join this tournament, because he wanted to stop anyone to using this talent for bad. Pretty much doesn't know what to do if he actually wins with this tournament. Now let's talk about characters. Now Ueki, the main character, he pretty much is a person who kind of chillaxes kind of wild. He doesn't pressure, or actually he's not very smart, just roll what's going on. Tries not to be so intense, but when he needs to, he it is. He's one of those people is for justice. That's why I think Ueki is so interesting, because you can't really predict what he does next. It's something you just grabs you. Now, another character is I, pretty much is a nosy person who actually is kind of obsessed with Ueki. Not love obsessed, it's more like he curious about him, the fact what he does and everything. But at the end, she's one of those who try to protect Ueki and trying to help him. She can easily become annoying, but she's one of those useful characters that you really do need. And something that kind of surprises you because you think, can I hate this? But no, she actually goes there and does whatever she can. In fact, she actually get beaten up once in a while. That actually make her more dedicated to protect Ueki. Now, another character will probably be Mr. K, who pretty much is one of the guys who chose Ueki to represent him, become the next king of all gods. Now, Mr. K is one of those people who are for justice, and you can see why Ueki wants to follow Mr. K, because Mr. K is one of those people he does believe of justice. He believes you have to do the right things to the right reasons, and you kind of aspire to see this character kind of risk it all to protect Ueki, trying to avoid anything go wrong. It's one of those you have to respect and also kind of laugh around, because this kind of strange character who kind of is kind of weirdo. And also, Mr. K is kind of similar to Ueki, but at the same time completely different. It's one of those that you kind of feel this both are connected in a way. Now, the villains are basically this robber who pretty much has a Robert's 10 group that he created just because he wanted to win the tournament. Because they have certain twists that I won't ruin it for you. It's basically Robert is kind of like a psychopath trying to rule the world, but before ruling the world, he preferred to destroy everybody and recreate his own image. Yes, once more, it's kind of like a Sailor Moon cartoon, but it's how the show is kind of written. It's a little bit more, trying to be a little more sophisticated, but in the same time, it's trying to be classic. It's one of those you enjoy. Now, I will stop there because this series or any anime usually have so many characters you can't really talk about so much, so I decided to skip them and continue on the next step. Now, let's talk about the soundtrack. Now, the whole music of the whole anime is pretty well impressive. I mean, especially the intro that helps so much. I mean, it does grab you and watch it more and more. It's actually this kind of Indian kind of sound that grabs you. Something out of left field, basically so well made. Now let's talk about the good and the bad things. Now, the good thing I already said, is the action is well made characters, great intro, great soundtrack. That's the pretty things, all the good about this. Now, the bad things about it is it wasn't well written. It's more like a Saturday morning cartoon that it almost had something, but they keep tripping up. But it's almost like a funny, awkward kind of bad Saturday morning cartoon, but it's something that you really try to not get into it, but at the same time they try to laugh it out. I'm just saying that the show should be well better written. I mean, at least at the beginning, it kind of stutters its way to the top, and it actually got better and better, and kind of make it throwing jokes to kind of fix the problem of the written. Because of that, kind of helps the show do better. Now, my conclusion about this anime is basically how anime beat 'em up are powering up beating themselves to death. But this one actually tries to do a little bit different. This one actually trying to give you at least good backstories and good fighting matches. It's hopefully more anime who want to stick with this genre actually should do it. It's more about the strategy, not about how powerful you are. It's about the strategy and the humor. I mean, this is one of those I probably recommend to everyone. Of course, my rating in this series is not high, especially a 7 because it's the written part, but once more, it's more like a nostalgic Saturday morning cartoon written position. In other words, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Please subscribe and have a wonderful day.